Crochet. We're here today with the continuation of part 3 of our pretty and green Easter bunny. I unfortunately had to stop yesterday because I was having trouble with my carpal tunnel. And just so my viewers will know, on Facebook and YouTube, I am doing Facebook Live right now. So if you hear me talking to people, that's why. I'm not talking to myself. So, because yeah, like I said, I will be downloading this onto YouTube later. But just so you know, I have severe carpal tunnel. I've had it for a long time. I've done a lot of computer work in my life. Done a lot of schooling in my life online, and so and did some hard work when I was younger. So needless to say, I have a lot of damage to my wrists, and like a couple of years ago, I was supposed to have surgery because the nerve damage was so bad in my hands. But due to anxiety and other issues that I've dealt with in my life, I was not mentally capable of doing that surgery at that time. I was honestly very scared. So next week, I have another appointment to go in and see. So if y'all could just keep me in your mind and think about that. I have done stretches, I've wore braces, I've done all kinds of things. It really just is at the point where it needs surgery, and I've needed surgery for a long time. So, but enough about that. We're going to go ahead and get into this. If you have seen my materials list, if you haven't, please go back to my first video, which is part 1 on YouTube, and it also, not on YouTube, on Facebook. It lays out all the materials that we're going to need, and then also I did a Facebook post showing all the materials. But just quickly, I'll let you know that we are using a 4.25 millimeter hook, and so yeah, so that's what we're gonna do. So what I did in my last video before I had to stop is we did the ear. We finished the ear all the way to the bottom. We had those last 2 rows of single crochets, and so now what I'm going to show you how to do is how to put the wire around these. I had some people who were, hi Rita, how are you doing? I had some people watching yesterday who are using some different kinds of wire, so I'm just going to show you how I do mine. But I have some, and this is, it's a thinner wire, but it's just the flower wire. It's green. This is what I'm going to do with this. And like I said before, you could use pipe cleaners. If you use pipe cleaners, you can just, if you take a long one or connect them together, and then you can make a circle, and then you can just push them inside of this. And then you can do a single crochet along the way here, or a slip stitch all around to keep them into place if you use pipe cleaners. But how I'm going to do for this wire is I'm going to take the wire. Well, first of all, I'm going to cut this off right here, okay? Leave enough so that we can work this ear onto our rabbit later. And just so you know, for all of these pieces that we're working on, you do need to leave a good deal of yarn when you finish off each piece so that you can sew onto your rabbit, okay? So I'm going to go ahead, and what I do to finish off all my little parts here is I do a slip stitch into my next available stitch, and then I, pull through and tie off, okay? So we have this piece that we're going to use to work on our ear. And so now I'm going to go to the other side. It doesn't really matter which side you start on though. And I've cut a piece of wire off. I had a little spool of this wire. And I'm going to lay it flat against this side of the ear. And I'm going to leave about that much on the end, okay? Because all I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to fold it to the inside of my ear, okay? But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay that flat. I hope you can see that because it is a thin piece of wire. I'm just going to lay it flat against the ear here. And then I'm going to bring in my yarn. And right here at the base of the ear, I'm just going to go right into the side with my hook. Okay, anywhere that you can grab. This does not have to be specific. And I'm going to bring in my white yarn, okay? Now laying this wire along the side, I'm going to work single crochets all the way up the side of my bunny ear to hold the wire in place. Okay, and it is a little fidgety. But so, and I've got this little piece here that's just going to hang from where I worked in my white yarn. Okay, so just laying this as flat as I possibly can. Okay, just like this. I'm just going to go up just like I would crochet, and I'm going to pick up, and like I said, there's no exact, I'm just picking up little pieces as I go along here on the side. Okay, this is kind of hard to do on camera, but you need to keep it tight so that you can't see the wire through there. Okay, but I'm just going to go all the way up. And it's going to be hard to catch into some of these places. That's okay. But we're just going to single crochet along over the wire. So I hope I'm going to get in a little bit closer so you can see. Okay. And you may have to flatten your wire as you go because it can be curvy on you and other things. But if you can see, I'm just going right under that wire into the ear, the side of the ear, pulling up and doing a single crochet right around it. Okay, so that's what it looks like so far, and I've got my little piece hanging down. Want to make sure I leave that down there. Okay, so I'm just going to keep going, and I'm going to show you when we get to the top what I like to do. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. And make sure when you cut your wire that you cut a piece big enough to go around the entire ear. Okay, so I'm just finding, kind of trying to go in a kind of a straight line up the side of the ear. So I'm just working, making sure that I get right under that wire. And as you can see, the back side, it's covering as we go around. And I wish I could give you a more exact, like a number or, but it's really just kind of something you have to work on to get this wire around this bunny ear. And it's a little fiddly. But this is what gives the bunny ear its ability to stand up straight, because if you don't have any kind of wire or pipe cleaner, it's really just going to lop over to the side. Of course, if that's the look that you want, then that's fine as well. You can do that. Just have a little, bunny's ears really don't stand up all the time anyway, but I just liked it better with them like that. Now, I'm up at the top of my, right here, right at the middle. This point, I want you to stop, okay? Let's look at what we've done so far. We've got this metal working all the way around. You cannot see it. We've worked it in. We've got our little piece here at the end that I'm going to show you what to do with later, but we're right here at the middle, and like I said, there's no exact point, just when you get up here to the middle, and I've worked a single crochet into this place right here, and then what I want you to do is chain one, only in this stitch only, and then do another single crochet. That is just giving the ear its tippy top kind of look that you need, so it's not just so circular that it starts turning in on itself. So then after that, you would just keep going down the other side, making sure to go over your wire. try to keep your single crochets as close together as possible and as tight as you can so that you cannot see the wire through. Okay, so just as close together as you can. And now we're going to work down the other side. And don't give up on this. It is kind of hard to get that wire. I've done this a couple times now, but it is hard to get the wire to just kind of lay flat, but you will get it, so don't give up. Just keep holding it there and keep going around. Straighten it out if you need to as you go. Okay, that's what it's looking like so far. Okay, Rita's asking, what if you feed the wire in and out of the side so it will be hold, then you do the single crochet? Do you mean put the wire on the inside? Or I'm not really understanding. This kind of wire, if you tried to work it through, it would just get caught in the little threads of the crochet. Also, if you tried, I originally tried to put it in like I would a pipe cleaner on the inside, and it just catches everywhere. And it's just because the wire is small and the ends catch to the actual crochet. So I found that this way was the best. But however, if you are using a pipe cleaner, they have a more smooth, because they have the I don't know what that material is, the fabric or whatever around the pipe cleaner that allows you to work it around here. And like I said, that would really be better, but this is just the wire that I had. So, but yeah, I would suggest doing it this way so that it doesn't get stuck in your crochet, because it will. I tried it. So, but you can try whatever you want. You can do this however you want to do it. And if you find a better way, please let me know. Because I would love to see how it works. Okay, so I'm going right down to the end as far as I can to cover this wire here. And it's kind of hard to get here at the end. But you do want to go down as far as you can. If you can see here, really mainly because I'm on video, it was hard for me to get started because I had to lay the wire and everything, and I'm looking into my camera. But really this, and I will go back, this should have been a little further down, starting right here. Okay, so just think of that when you do yours. As you can see, I ended all the way down on this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut off, leaving enough to work in my ends. Remember, we have our piece to work in for the actual project itself. So I'm going to pull that through. Okay, and this is what it looks like. We've got wire and yarn everywhere. So what you're going to do is, remember, like I said, you would go further down on this one than I did. But then you would fold this piece. If you had any, too much extra going on, my scissors will cut this wire. I probably shouldn't do that because they're my craft scissors, but, and then you just fold in this little piece into the side of your ear, just like so, trying to make sure that it doesn't catch on any of the crochet. And then I do my other side as well, only leaving enough to fold in. So not too much, okay? And then get your pieces out of the way here. And then just fold this into the inside of the ear, okay? And I'm just feeling around there, okay? So then that's what it looks like. That's your ear. And then you will sew this on to the back of the bunny. And then you will make another ear just like this one with the wire. And they'll just sit like this. And now that they can be moved because of the wire, they can be moved and they will stand up straight. And they can be moved in any which way that you want. You can fold them in, flop them over, turn them this way. That wire just leaves that capability there. You can also flatten this out a little bit more. But that's what it looks like. I think it turned out really cool. So yeah. Yeah, you could. Rita's saying you could dip the end with some nail polish. Yeah, you could. Just dip it in there. I'm actually going to show you guys how to put some blush on the bunny. I did not put it on my original one in my picture, but I'm going to add it because I want y'all to see how to do that. So when you get done with these ears, work in your ends. This was where we, it would be really cute as a headband for kids, Rita. That's a really good idea. You could definitely do this. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll make another video and we could do the ears and add the headband. Anyways, make sure that you work in your ends. Don't work in, of course, the end that you need to sew on. Just work in your other ends and make sure you have two. Okay, so now we're going to move on and we're going to work on the shoe. Okay, now my original, I'm just going to raise up my camera real quick. My original rack, excuse my desk here is a mess. There's all the parts for that. My original rabbit is using this pretty variegated green, but I have used that for other projects and don't have a lot left of that variegated green. So I'm using a yellow for the shoes, the dress, and the bow. The yellow is called Lemon, and it's just Red Heart. It's just some yarn that my husband picked up for me on sale at Walmart. So whichever one you want to use. I really loved the green that I found at Hobby Lobby, and again, it's just a variegated green. So okay, so let's just get started on the shoe. I'm going to lower my camera back down. Hopefully nothing will fall over. Yesterday was just bad. The camera fell, my hand stopped working, so hopefully today's better. But this is what the shoe looks like. And I haven't even worked in this end yet. But we're going to do this. I'm going to show you how to do the shoe. And this is just the piece that sits. Let me just show you. As you can see, this just fits. It comes off and on of your foot here. And this one has a little butterfly applique, but this is just the little strap for the shoe. And that's what it looks like. So I wanted to show you. And when we go into our last video and I show you how to do the dress and we put everything together, I will show you how to put little appliques. It's just literally hot glued on there, and then the little shoe fits over it. Okay, but again, I'm just using the different color. It's still the same shoe. Okay, so to do the shoe, in case you don't want to watch my video, it's basically the same. I mean, to do the shoe, it's exactly the same as the foot. Up to the half double crochet mark. You just add one extra half double crochet, but I'm still going to walk through it with you so you'll know how to do it. Okay, so we'll put our other shoe there to the side. You're going to start with a magic circle. If you don't know how to do a magic circle, please look at my other videos. Okay. So we're going to start with a magic circle, and we're going to do, of course, like we do for everything, 6 single crochet into the magic circle. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, and then you're going to tighten your circle there, And then we're going to working into the round. We're going to go right into our first available stitch here, and we're going to put 2 single crochets. Okay, so there's 1 and 2. So 2 single crochets in the first and 2 single crochets in each all the way around for a count of 12. It's 4, 5, 6. Excuse me. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And I don't know what is up with this yellow yarn. I ended up with 2 skeins. One was bought a long time ago, and then my husband bought another one, and it is just so stringy. It's kind of hard to work with, to be honest with you, but we're still going to do it. So then we're going to put in our stitch marker so we don't lose our place. Okay. And now we're going to do a couple rows of increase. So we did our 6 in our magic circle. We did our 12. And now we're going to do the 1 and 2. Okay. So we're going to do 1 single crochet in the next, and in the next 2 single crochets. And the next 1 single crochet, and in the next 2 single crochets. And the next 1 and the next 2. Just do that all the way around for a stitch count of 18. Okay, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. And remove that stitch marker. Put our 2 single crochets here. And then put your stitch marker right back. Hi Sammy, how you doing? We're working on the shoe now. And I'm using the yellow instead of my variegated green because I ran out of it. Okay, so again, you should have a stitch count of 18. And now we're going to do 2 and 2. And again, we're just doing our increases. So 1 single crochet in the next. Yes, 1 single crochet in the next. And then in the next, in the third one, 2 single crochets. In the next, 1 single crochet, in the next 1 single crochet, and in the next 2 single crochets. Just do that all the way around for a stitch count of 24. Okay, so we're just doing this all the way around, and we're on our last single crochets here. So I'm going to pull out our stitch marker and put 2 single crochets right there. Yay, Sammy! I hope you get to use your new yarn later. I know you were wanting to use it yesterday and then I had to stop my video. And I hope they find out what's going on there at the doctor. Okay, so that was a stitch count of 24. And now we're going to be doing, this is our last increase. We're going to be doing 3 and 2. So you're going to be putting a single crochet in the next 3 stitches. And then in the fourth, 2 single crochets. And again, 3 single crochets, and then 2 in the fourth. You do that all the way around for a stitch count of 30. And now we're at our last 3 single crochets. So you're going to remove the stitch marker. You should be putting 2 single crochets there. Okay, then put your stitch marker back. And now we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rounds of half double crochet. So you should have a stitch count of 30 now after we did our 3 and 2 increase. So now we're going to do 5 rows of half double crochets. Okay, so just real quickly, you're going to go right into your next available stitch. And you're going to do a half double crochet. So yarn over, go in, pull up. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. Go through all 3. Okay. So just keep doing that all the way around. And I am going to do this with you on camera because I want you to see how the shoe, how it looks. And then we need to also do the strap, which is really easy to do. Okay. And as this starts to turn, I want you to make sure that this is turning up like this, so that this will be your outside. If you see, it's trying to turn in this way. I mean, you can always turn it out. I just think it's easier to go ahead and shape it like that. And this yarn is really trying to catch here. Trying to be a little looser with my tension so it won't catch so much. So this should be 30 half double crochets all the way around. So you pull out your stitch marker, do your last half double crochet, and then put the stitch marker right back. And then you'll just start again. And again, I like to write down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that's how many rounds we need. And then I just cross off as I go along. And I'm just gonna look here. So we would just keep going. And now we're on our second round of half double crochets. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 26, 7, 28, 29, and 30. I just wanted to make sure that we had our count right. And just so you know, this is what it looks like so far. It's slowly coming up on the sides. The more half double crochets you do, the more the sides will come up. So I'm just going to put my stitch marker right back. And I'm going to cross off number 2. And you can keep this tighter than I am. I'm crocheting very loosely because, like I said, this yarn is real stringy and it keeps trying to get stuck. So I have to keep a pretty loose hold on it. Even while I'm doing that, it's still trying to get stuck. I don't know if y'all have ever worked with yarn like this, but it's a little bit of a pain. But I need to use it up, so we're going to use it. And yellow is a pretty Easter color. I'm sorry, this is kind of boring. Oh, Karen Simply Soft does do that. Sammy's saying, you know, that Karen Simply Soft, it does that. Gets kind of stringy. And oh, it's such a soft and pretty yarn, but it is, yes, it is horrible for that. So we're just finishing up our third round of half double crochets here. I took out my stitch marker. I'm going to put it right back in. I'm going to cross off number 3, and then we're moving on to number 4. 30 half double crochets all the way around. Oh yeah, Rita's asking about making this for boys, and I had mentioned in a video a while back about trying to make some clothes for this rabbit, because these clothes that I've made for the rabbit are removable, the dress, the shoes, everything. So except for the bow. But we could definitely make this rabbit a boy. We've just got to find out how to make some shirts, a shirt, and maybe some pants or something like that. And maybe a different color pair of shoes. But yeah, I'm definitely going to do that because I noticed that a lot of crochet in general is geared towards women. And I have a lot of friends who have little boys. And so yeah, we definitely need to start making some boy-friendly stuff. Because we could, you know, make it a little Peter. Isn't that his name? Peter Rabbit? Something like that. Was a boy. So let me look around and see what I can find. And I do have a couple more videos coming up. Some Easter related spring videos. And somewhere along the way, I'll see if I can't make some boy clothes for our bunny. Okay, so that was our last half double crochet there. So we're going to put our stitch marker back. When you are removing your stitch marker, please make sure, and putting it back in, make sure to pull up your loop so that it does not come undone. Okay, so that was number 4. So now we have just one more round of half double crochets, and then I'm going to show you how to make the strap for the shoe. Okay, so just one more round. If my hands weren't so crazy, I could do this a little bit quicker. But even right now, guys, my hands are numb, just numb. So they've just gotten to that point where I can't crochet for very long at all. I used to be able to crochet for much longer before they went numb. And actually, when I spoke to the doctor the last time about the surgery, he actually called me at home and said, you know, you really need to do this. And I was like, I'm too scared. I can't. I don't want to be put to sleep. I have really bad anxiety. I can't do it. I'm too scared. And he said, well, that's okay. One day you're going to call me because you're going to have no other choice than to do it. And he was right. So, he was right. And it's a lot more painful than people think it is. That carpal tunnel. Okay, so I'm just going around here. Okay, so we're on our last half double crochet. We can pull that stitch marker right out of there. And now what we're going to do, I want you to just take this piece and just put it in there. You can work that in later. You are going to want to work that in though. And so what we're going to do is from right here, we're going to, I want you to just do this, just like this. Just close it. Close it where the sides are like this, okay? Now, you could close it over here or right here, but you really want it to be about right there, okay? This is one of those things that's kind of like when we were doing the wire for the ear. You just kind of have to fill it out, okay? But you want about this area right here. And I will count. As soon as I go to the other side, I'm going to count for you. But basically, you're going to go right into the other side. Right over here into the other side is where you're going to go. Okay? So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay? So if you wanted to count 10, you can. So what we're going to do is we're going to chain up 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9, and 10. Okay, so if we start from here and we count, because remember I just counted for you, can either just go and put it in right here, or you can count around. But let's just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and so then I would just go, and actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I think that's more like 12 right there, actually, what we ended up with. But then what you're going to do is you're just going to go right into the corresponding chain right here, and you're going to pull up and you're going to do a single crochet right there. Then tighten that down into place. Okay. And now you've got your little front strap for your foot. Okay. So then you just, for this, you do not need to sew anything on. So just leave off enough to work in your yarn. And then you would just, at this point, yarn through, pull up, and tighten up just like that. And that's what your shoe looks like, okay? Just like that. Okay, this is just a little strap for the front. So work in all your ends, and then in this last video, I'm going to show you how to put the little appliques on if you choose to. I do have some more butterflies, and so all I did was you just, you know, you put this on the foot, and then I had hot glued a little butterfly on each of these, on the side of each of these. So one over here and one over here, and then they just fit onto the feet. So that's how you do them, really simple. So now let's go on to the bow. The bow is really easy. All you're going to do is you're going to do a slip knot, and you're going to chain 25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25. Okay, so we've chained 25, and now what you're going to do is you're going to put a half double crochet in the second chain here from the hook. Okay, so not this one that we're pulling out of, but the next one, you're going to do a half double crochet. And then you're going to do a half double crochet all the way down, and you will end up with 24. So I'm going to do this one. I'm just going to do this one row with you, and I'm going to show you how to turn, okay? So we're just going to go all the way down, and you should end up with 24 at the end, because remember we went into the second chain from the hook. So you're not going to have 25, you're going to have 24. And so we're just going to do this one, work all the way down. Because that's all this bow is just row after row of half double crochet. So I tried to make all the components of this bunny pretty easy so that anyone could do it. And you guys, you don't have to use butterflies. Of course, you can use any appliques that you want, that I was just showing you for the shoe and stuff like that. Yeah, you can use, you know, whatever you want to use. If you could find something Eastery, if you wanted to put some ribbon, you know, if you wanted to find some kind of different applique, you can do that. Just make sure that you hit every one of these stitches. It's getting stuck so bad. This yarn is a trip. Oh, buttons is a good idea. Yeah, buttons would look cool. Some cool looking buttons. Like I said, said, I think it's cool to just use whatever you have in the house. I had those flower buttons and those butterflies. I already had them, and it was a great way to use them. Yeah, so that'll be great. Okay, so I've just gotten all the way down to the end here, working our half double crochets. And then what you're going to do is you're going to chain 1, and then you're going to turn your work, and then you're going to put a half double crochet right into this first available stitch right here. And you're going to do that all the way down again, the half double crochets. Okay? And then again, you would chain 1, turn your work. Okay, if you need to count to make sure that you get a straight edge, it's again a count of 24 because we started with 25 and we went into the second chain from the hook. Okay, so you're just going to keep doing that, and you're going to do that for 12 rounds. 12 rounds of half double crochet, just back and forth, back and forth. Okay, how many of these rounds you do determines how thick your bow is going to be. This is just how I did mine. You could make it thicker if you wanted, but this is what it looks like when you're done. Okay, and what I like to do, okay, is so when you're done with that, you fold your bow. This will be your bow. You fold it in half. Okay, then you take, you are still going to have yarn on yours, so you can do that, or you can work it in and do it like I'm doing it, either way you want. But you're just going to take these ends and like I said, yours is still going to be attached. Have a little scraggly piece here. And so when you go to fold these together, you will already have an attached piece of working yarn. I'm just pulling my end to show you, pulling yellow yarn in to show you how to do this. So then you would line these up and you would go all the way down, single crocheting all the way down to bring these together. Okay, so we're going to do this on camera together. We're going to go all the way down because I want to show you what it looks like when it's done. So I'm just all the way down with this horrid yarn. And I've just lined this up. Just do that all the way. Okay. You can do flat bows where you don't turn, fold them together. I just think that the bows folded together, they give more dimension and they look a lot better. You don't have to stuff anything or anything, but it does look better to me. Okay, so you cut off just enough to work in there at the end. And tighten that up a little bit there. Okay, and then what you do is you take the color that you want to put in the middle of your bow. Okay, I would suggest using a solid color, but you can use the color of this yarn. I could use yellow, but I'm going to show you what we're going to do. Okay, first of all, you would work these in, but I'm not going to do that on camera. So I've got this pretty dark green over here that happens to be on my desk, and I'm going to use it to show you how you would do this. Okay, so I'm going to take my yarn. It's got a little knot here on the end. What is going on? I've got Star Wars on the desk. Okay, so right here in the middle, you're going to want to make a knot with your yarn, your other color yarn that you're going to be using. Pull it really tight, okay, right there in the middle. I think that's pretty close to the middle, okay? So there's one, I'm going to do this 4 times, 2, 3, and 4, okay? So we've done that 4 times. Then I'm going to take both of these pieces right here. Yeah, the force is with me. And Sammy said the force is with you. That's pretty funny. And then you're just going to take both of these and you're just going to keep wrapping around. Just around and around. And that other piece, my scragglies are trying to get in the way. It's just going to work in with that as you go. You're not going to be able to see it, that other little loopy piece. And you can make this as thick as you want to, but you're just going to keep going till you get the thickness that you want for the middle of your bow, okay? Just like that. And I think that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to keep, just cut off a little piece here long enough, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn my bow over to the other side, just like this. This is what it looks like. This is going to be my back side, okay? This is my piece that I just cut off. And I'm going to take my darning needle, wherever it is, everything under the moon here. Okay, you're going to take your darning needle and you're going to put your thread in, or your yarn, and then you're going to work this into the back of the bow. Okay, so that we can secure it. Remember, 3 is the magic number, but I'm probably going to do it more than that because I want to make sure that this does not come undone. Okay, and I'm just working in the middle of this any which way because this is the back side of my bow. Okay, and I don't even know how many times I just did that. I just kept doing it. Okay, then you take your scissors and you can cut off. And look at that. You have a beautiful bow. And I think one side is a little bit longer than the other, but it doesn't matter. Okay, so that's how I made my bow for my bunny. And you can shape this just like you shape anything with crochet. You know, I can turn it a little bit, can make it a little wider, you know, just like that. And that's what it looks like. Okay, so I think that we have really completed everything except for the dress and putting it all together. We've done the head, we've done the body, we've done 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 shoes, a bow, and then we've also done the ears. So you'll need all that finished up, and by the time I do my next video, we're going to be able to put it all together. I'm going to have all my pieces done as well. Mine will be in this yellow color, but I'm going to have all my pieces because we're going to put it all together. We're going to do it all together is what I was trying to say. We're going to piece it all together because I think that is one of the hardest parts about doing amigurumi is just placing it all together, finding out how to do the face. And I was saying earlier to Rita, Sammy, that I'm going to show you how to put a little bit of blush on here. You actually use blush to do it. It works great. But we're gonna do the dress, and then we're gonna start putting we're gonna start sewing all these pieces together. Okay, we're gonna sew the body and the head and the ears, and then we're gonna use I'm going to be using a hot glue gun quite a bit. So if you have one, please go ahead and find it, get it out, or if you need to get one, get one. But really, you can also sew this stuff on. You don't have to have one, but it does make life easier. Because I ended up hot gluing the bow up here because it's in a precarious kind of position here by the ear and the head, but it can still be sewn in. But I am going to show you how to do it with a hot glue gun. So the these little buttons, that was hot glued on. These were hot glued on. All the little appliques were hot glued. The buttons were sewn. The eyebrows were sewn in. The nose was sewn in. The mouth was sewn in. And this was also hot glued. Okay, the little bottom puff here. These were hot glued as well. The little buttons here. And then these come undone just like that. And I will show you how to do that when we do the dress. And that's just so that you can take the dress on and off. And I did not put one at the bottom here because I didn't really want to have one, but you could definitely have one at your bottom. And I'm going to show you how to do that when we piece it all together too. Okay, so I'm going to stop running my mouth. Thank you so much for watching. I'm so glad I was able to finish this video. And I will see you again soon to show you how to do the dress. Have a great day, guys. Thanks. Bye. Happy crocheting.